Okay, well, it's 102, it's 102 my time, so I'm gonna get started. Um, I'm really happy to be here with you. It's wonderful to finally gather. The excitement for your arrival has been long anticipated. So just taking a moment to celebrate being together. You're each special and you've been selected to join this amazing cohort to bring your gifts to the group. So just feeling into, how each of us is important. Each of you is important to the group, and you bring and you receive support. And that's really an exceptional and potent ingredient to this work. So presencing that connection that you have, that each of us has as an important part of our group. My name is Amy Eldridge, and my role is to support you, really to help you to keep that spark, to make the world a better place, and to bring your unique gifts to the world, to keep that spark really bright and fresh. And I hope you hear me say over and over again that each of us has unique gifts to bring into the world that really no one else can bring. And what we have to offer, if we don't bring that, then the world misses out. So I want us all to bring our gifts, and when that happens, then the world really becomes a magical place, right? We'll be living in a heaven on earth. Um, we're kind of at the front of the pack in a certain way, and we're leading. So we're bringing the light and helping spark up that light in other people. It's one by one, small interaction by small interaction, right? So um, I've been working in Western medicine for over 20 years. I've worked in many different areas, and I shift the focus of my work a few years ago to a holistic model. And I've been lucky enough to study Ayurveda, and I'm really happy to bring its wisdom to you this year, infusing the indigenous wisdom of Ayurveda into your curriculum. So um, please work with me. Please talk to me during our workshops. I'm enthusiastic and I look forward to getting to know you. Um, so just briefly, a little bit about the form of our work. We will have 8 workshops. Um, I think you have the schedule. You're here, so hopefully you saw the post. But there are 8 workshops. I'm just going to pop them um, into the chat here, so you can, if you didn't already put them in your calendar, to please do so. Um, I made them the same time on the same day of the week for ease, because that helps, right? Just to get it on your calendar. And if you have perfect attendance at the workshops, you'll receive an award from me in Istanbul at the conference. So um, we will be completing survey forms at the end of each workshop, and I just want to say how important it is to please take time to do so. Please let me know what you might want to see. The curriculum is fluid, and I'm building it with you, co-creating, working with the next generation leaders and with you. So please don't be shy. Let me know what you want to hear. And together we'll really shape this movement for the future cohorts next year, the following year. So it's exciting. And then as a second part, um, I'll be offering wellness office hours. So that will also be on the same day of the week. It'll be Wednesdays, 12 to 1:30 Eastern time. And it'll follow the next day after the workshop, except for July and November, which is just a little different. So you'll see it there. And I'm going to pop this also into the chat so that if you haven't quite captured it yet, you can capture it and put it on your calendar. So, for example, tomorrow I'm going to be leading a relaxation experience called Yoga Nidra. I wonder if anybody has ever experienced Yoga Nidra. Maybe you can raise your virtual hand or give a thumbs up so we can see. But it's really a wonderful practice. It's wonderful for ending your day. I know a lot of you are in a time zone where it'll be evening for you. So come join us. Office hours are an opportunity for individual or small group work, and you're invited to come forward to work on something specific. I can do Ayurvedic wellness plans for some of you, and we can work on it over the year. And I'm also developing an opportunity for some of you to apply to learn the beautiful transformative practice of Nilakanta meditation. So if you're interested in practicing daily meditation, reach out to me. You can indicate it on your survey at the end of today. So before we kind of jump in, I just wonder if there's any questions. I'm looking in the chat. It's hard for me to see everyone, so if someone is raising their hand and I don't see you, please let me know. I do have the chat open and I'm keeping an eye on that. Okay, so let's go on here. And so I'm not going to read through the objectives. You're going to know the objectives because we're going to do them in the interest of time. But just thinking of Ayurveda as a different way of knowing. You know, there's scientific knowing, and then there can be an experiential kind of knowing. Like, for example, I know about gravity not because I've studied it using a randomized controlled trial and can measure it specifically, but because I know it with my body and my senses. And there's this idea of a phrase really called two-eyed seeing. It's holding a perspective where you can see things that maybe might seem contradictory, but holding space for both. That we can value knowing things scientifically and studying them very precisely in a reductionist model while still valuing a holistic approach at the same time. So Ayurveda is really an invitation to practice. It's not necessarily about just knowing the concepts and the words in your mind, like information. It's actually a living science. So we can think of living Ayurveda in a certain way. So some of the fun work I'll give you, I was thinking of calling it like living Ayurveda assignments, fun work, you know, just to do some of the practices that we bring forward in our workshops. Um, So Ayurveda really dates back thousands of years. The word Ayurveda is translated from the Sanskrit root Ayu, meaning life, and Veda, meaning knowledge or science. So it's the science of life. And Ayurveda sees the world as a delicate balance of the dynamic relationship of five great elements. So you see them here in their little shape boxes here: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. It's a system of wholeness that aims to move and shift dynamically within the natural currents of life towards wholeness for an individual, for a community, or for the world. So it's very interesting that we can apply it to ourselves. It may be that you use a framework of Ayurveda to look at your community or the work that you're doing. You know, what are you trying to influence, and how can Ayurvedic concepts help with that? But we do know that when wholeness is lost and imbalance exists, through the lens of Ayurveda, we can look for the root cause of this imbalance to restore wholeness. So, what's different about my work now is that instead of just treating a symptom per se, when a person comes forward and says, "Hey, this is what's going on for me," um, I look for the root cause. Where did it come from, and how can we switch that up so it doesn't continue to happen? So I really look forward to hearing how this system might affect your vision of yourself and the world. Blending modern approaches to health with indigenous knowledges and practices and cultivating respect for diverse epistemologies. This is one of our goals. And also honoring other traditional systems of ancient wisdom, that there are many healing systems that are present in the world, and human beings are stewards and custodians of this really profound wisdom. And Ayurveda is just one. So We can just presence all the wisdom traditions of humanity for just a moment with hearts filled with gratitude. And my hope in offering you this curriculum is to bring balanced engagement with the world, which will be sustainable, joyful activism. You know, how we care for ourselves can be overlooked, and we can have goals and visions, but we want to build a way that that can be sustainable. And just that word joyful, right? To be joyful about something means it feels good in our bodies. So that would be my hope. The grouping that came before you, wanted this to be part of the curriculum. So we are bringing it forward. It's very exciting. So let's take a moment. As I mentioned, that Ayurveda is really a science of practice. So let's take a moment to center and ground. And as we do these grounding exercises, I hope that you'll feel into the effects in the body mind, and then just know that you can always close your eyes and tap into these energies and ground in moments when you need it. So if you're in a place where it's safe and comfortable for you to close your eyes, I invite you to do so. Um, if you want to just soften your gaze a few feet in front of you, that can also be great. If you're watching the interpreter and you are not closing your eyes, also fine. I'm just taking a few moments now to land in our bodies. And we can just notice the breath and allow it to just flow. We're just witnessing and observing. Maybe now taking a deep inhalation through the nose and exhaling through the mouth with sound. Nice sigh activates the relaxation response. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling deeply and exhale. Then bringing your awareness to your body. Bringing your awareness to places in your body that contain the earth element. So things that are heavy and dense, your bones, muscles and tendons, the adipose tissue or fat, the organs, all of these things that are heavy and dense and weighty. These all contain earth element. And then moving your awareness to the parts of the body that contain water. There's a lot of water in and around all the tissues. Water is cool and liquid, soft and slimy. Right, thinking about the fluidity of the saliva in your mouth, feel the saliva there. Bringing your awareness to the blood in the body that circulates, the lymph, and all the moisture that lubricates the joints and all the mucous membranes. Bringing your awareness to the fire element in the body, the heat. You can feel it in your skin. It's hot and sharp, light, dry and subtle. So feeling into that transformative digestive fire in the center digestive tract, but also in each and every cell. Each and every cell has its own digestive fire and metabolism. And then bringing awareness to the air element in the body, that which moves everything around. Air is mobile, dry, light, cold, rough, and subtle. It moves the digestive enzymes. It circulates hormones throughout the body, and it helps individual cells move waste products and nourishment in and out across their cell membrane, all from the air element. The immune system sending out its cells to track down a virus or bacteria. All of this from the air element. And then lastly, presencing the element of space in the body. The voidness that serves as the container or holder of all of the other elements, all the other parts. Space is clear, light, subtle, soft, and immeasurable. So you can feel the space perhaps in the center channel, the digestive tract, the space in the lungs, the heart, the blood vessels, the space between cells, between thoughts, between the breaths, all this space in the body. And then just for a moment, feeling into your unique combination of these elements of earth, water, fire, air, and space. Every person has their own unique combination of these elements. No two are the same. And that combination was determined at your birth and was influenced by the elements present in your parents as well as the environment, the moon and sun and the planets, all contributing their energy to your conception. And taking a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. And just bringing some gratitude up for this amazing human body you've been gifted. And again, a nice deep breath in and out. And we'll gently allow the eyes to crack open and begin to allow the sight to move again through the eyes. Thank you so much. I hope that was pleasant for you. I wonder if you notice any shifts after just closing your eyes for a few moments. You can pop any reflections into the chat. How do you feel after just sitting? Even just verbalizing it, I feel calmer. So I have a slide up here of the 5 elements. Earth, water, fire, air, and space. Sometimes referred to as ether, so you'll see that. And below them, here on this slide, you'll see the different qualities that are associated with these elements. And this is kind of the magic of Ayurveda. Just this slide alone gives you everything. It's kind of amazing. And it's through applying opposite qualities. We'll do this as a little bit of an exercise, but if something is very hot, then we apply something cool. But first starting to learn what are the qualities of earth. So something heavy, we describe it as dull, it's not sharp, it's static, it's not moving, it's dense, hard, and gross. So it's not, the opposite is subtle, gross and subtle. Sometimes that word's a little tricky. Water, I think, makes sense. Cool, liquid. It's dull. It's not sharp, right? It's soft. It's described as oily. I don't know if I would describe water particularly as oily, but it's given that quality in Ayurveda, and slimy. It's definitely not dry. I think that's the take home. And then fire, we have hot, sharp, light, dry, and subtle. And then air, we have mobile, dry, light, cold. Rough is an interesting one. Like if something's left outside and there's a lot of air, it gets rough, right? It is subtle. And space is immeasurable. It has the same qualities of air, except it's immeasurable. And it also includes softness. So spaciousness can be soft. So while looking at these qualities of nature, I'm going to leave the slide up. I invite you now to explore which qualities you resonate with and may feel arising in your own body minds and begin to name them. So which qualities do you feel in your body mind today, or have you been experiencing recently? And where do you notice them? I'm going to say, I feel clear and light in my mind. So please type that into the chat. Thank you, Naomi, for sharing your experience after the centering exercise. Abdul's feeling space. Rena, I hope I'm saying that right. Space. And also, where do you feel it in your body? Caitlin's feeling water in her throat and head. Yes. And interestingly, the seat of Kapha, which is water and earth, we'll talk about the doshas, is the chest and head. So often that's where it'll show up. They have favorite spots. Relaxed and conscious. Yeah. So I wonder if you can assign one of the gunas to the feeling of being relaxed and conscious. What either element and then associated quality, those words underneath, would you apply to that? We have air, space. I've been letting go and letting God, and everything has been falling into place. And the For Youth by Youth logo was on time. Cool, dull. This is great. Thank you. Yeah, keep putting them in. It's great. So I'm going to stop this share for a second. So we wanted to give you an opportunity to join a breakout room. And I wanted to reflect on, bringing sustainability and joy into your activism and being change agents in the world doesn't come without challenges. So this will be something that we'll explore, as we move along in our curriculum. But I just wanted to give you a chance to kind of brainstorm some of that and asking you the question, what are some of the most important challenges that face you as you engage in your work in the world? So together in a small group, just looking at creating a list of the most important challenges that are facing you in your work. So Caitlin is going to whisk you away for about 10 minutes. And if you would like to remain with the ASL interpreter, then you can just stay in the main room. You don't have to select a group. You can just stay in the room. All right, Caitlin's going to take it away.
So the rooms have been open if you and everyone should have their assignment and they can go. And if you have any trouble, just send us a message. The people who are still in the main room, do you want to, we can just be our own small group. I see Cindy, Samantha, Mercy, Betty, Zoom user, who is mysterious. We don't know who you are, but we know you're out there. Yeah, does anyone want to lead us through making a list?
Merci, Betsy, Zoom user, are you there?
Maybe not. We missed Samantha, you're muted. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was, what was the question from Amy?
The question from Amy was just writing a list of challenges that come up in like our activism efforts, our activism work. For me, I feel like I'm getting this cold. I'm getting this spring cold, and it's not enough to take a sick day, but it's also really annoying. And all I want to do is drink tea and sleep.
Get worse than Caitlin. Pamela, can you hear us? Okay, I don't know if Pamela can hear us. Challenges. Yeah, I think I resonate with what you just said in terms of it's really hard to, especially when the more you grow up, the more responsible you become. And I think for those on campus or those who are still students, there is this room for just saying, okay, I'm not feeling well, so I won't go for, for classes. But once you start working, the more off days you take, the more you run out of off days. So you can't just randomly take off days just like that. So I think some of the obstacles might be health challenges or just the balance between managing workload and also managing your body needs or your physical needs where you have to rest, the balance between resting and doing the work, because sometimes if you rest, the work also lags behind, and sometimes if you if you work a lot, the body or the physical part of you also starts complaining. So I think that's one of the challenges that come with activism or doing any work in the world. But yeah.
Yeah, you said it better than I could. Yeah, it's that balance of if you slow down, the work doesn't stop. So it's finding that balance. It's really hard.
The other one, I think it can be resistance, resistance from change, especially if you're trying to implement something new. There are systems that are already existing in most of the work that we do in our environments. So those define how far you can go or what you can do. So I think one of the challenges can also be resistance to change or resistance to change, especially for the people around you and the people maybe you're trying to help. If you're trying to implement a community project, there are so many obstacles that you can face from the people who are benefiting and the people you're implementing with. So I think that's also another obstacle. Pamela, you said you can hear us. You can try answering the question that Amy posted in the chat bot.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
We might have some people join us.
Mhm. Welcome, Beatrice. Welcome, Naomi. So we are in breakout room sessions. So if you can hear me, I'm sending a question in the chat box. So you can just unmute and answer. Or if you're not in a position to unmute, you can just respond in the chat box. Welcome, Diane. So people have gone to breakout room sessions. Welcome, Ashley. We're just going through a question that Amy gave us to address. So you can unmute and answer, or you can just type in the chat box for us to be able to engage together.
We have like a few more people in the main room. People were saying that their breakouts were quiet. So I hope that we didn't mess up the breakout rooms in any way, but maybe I'll go check on
Okay.
the rooms, Samantha. Maybe like
Okay,
5.
yeah.
I can jump in and see how people are doing too, Caitlin. Maybe we can divide, and I think it's only a couple more minutes too. We could come back. Maybe can you send a message and just say, that we'll close in like 30 seconds just to give them or a minute, however that works, and then we'll
Yeah,
pull back early. That'll be fine.
sounds good.
Thank you.
But for the people who just came to the main room, Samantha had two really good points. One, resistance to change, and two was balancing your physical health with demands, responsibilities, taking a break, getting work done. Kamvile, it sounds like you're driving, so I just muted you, but if you wanted to say something, feel free to come back off mute.
Yeah, the question was identifying obstacles or challenges to doing your work in the world. And if anyone wants to post, people are already posting in the chat. Perfect. Yes, please do. If language barriers hinder communication, definitely. Time management is crucial. Mercy says imposter syndrome, internal challenge. Yep. I'm glad you're bringing that forward.
Okay, I gave everyone else like a minute to come back.
Okay, great. Well, Lucy says the awareness of a changing life season and how to navigate it. Yeah. And even thinking about, I'm not sure if you mean the season, the particular season, like going from spring to summer or winter to spring, summer, or just, if you're at a different time of life, being a young adult and then maybe moving into parenthood or, getting a job, being employed, just many different seasons of life, right? How do we navigate that? It's a beautiful consideration. Indifference of others towards a teamwork. Thank you. Okay, good. Is everyone back now, Caitlin, you think, or is there still a group out there?
Let me just make sure. I think everyone should be back at this point. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Welcome back. it's nice to be able to talk to each other, see each other outside of the little boxes. So I hope that you enjoyed gathering. I wanted to give you that opportunity. So, yeah, it's interesting. There's definitely a diverse grouping of challenges being brought forward, and I'm going to review that carefully. So continue to please place them in the chat so we can kind of compile them. Okay, so we're going to continue on looking at our gunas here. Let me just get this slide up, make sure I got it right. Still sharing a small version. Let's see. Yeah, let me stop. Sorry. I'm not always great. One of my obstacles is sharing slides. Let's see. I'll get there. Not sure why I'm not.
I think, could you try to hit use slideshow maybe?
Yeah, I think I must just be viewing a different version of it. Let's see. Sometimes the windows look different than, let me try to escape this one. All right, let's try it again here. Okay, she did it. Phew, sorry. Thanks for your patience. I'm sorry about that. So looking at the gunas, we just want to think about the idea that applying like increases like, and applying the opposite decreases. So it makes it super user-friendly, and it's very fundamental. And it can apply across a vast range of issues, from an individual to, a community, to a problem, to the earth even, So making it really practical, just to say it. If you're hot and you apply cold, you reduce the heat. So if you're hot and you apply more heat, then you get hotter. It's very simple. It's also interesting to observe that people often continue to do the same thing, and then they wonder why their symptoms don't go away, or why they still feel maybe a way that they don't want to. So thinking about heat, what if there's heat in the mind? A sharp-tempered, right? Short-tempered, someone who has a lot of heat. What would be a good intervention for them? So the choices are going running at noon in the hot sun, or resting at noon, right? Would it be good for them to rush around, or to schedule breaks and rest? Would it be good for them to be in nature, or be in front of screens a lot? Right? If there's a lot of heat, it's intuitive. Of course, resting at noon and not increasing the heat running around, or scheduling a break and resting, being in nature and avoiding a lot of screens. So looking at another example, say that someone has a lot of sensory information coming at them. We would say that this is an exposure to a lot of air element. It affects their mind and causes the mind to feel very mobile, a lot of movement. and it can be less settled or stable, and that can affect us. This is certainly something that we all encounter, right? So Ayurveda says that like increases like and the opposite decreases. So we can employ strategies to balance, to add stability and heaviness to the light mobile quality that may be present in the mind, to rest the senses, perhaps to take breaks from our devices on the regular, to be in nature where our senses have the ability to interact with organic shapes and sounds, or to have quiet time. So cultivating the opposite gunas of slow, dark, and heavy. And this way we can ground the air element. Excess air is also something that's common from travel. So lying on your back with your legs up a wall or walking barefoot in grass can help reverse this air excess through grounding and reversal of energy. And air element is also cold, as we saw, so we can warm it up by adding fire and water element through sipping hot water or placing something warm on the belly. So it's just these very simple, intuitive actions that can be used to balance the body with daily activities. So taking another example, imagine you're having some skin rash. Maybe you're in a very hot climate and it's the end of the hot season and you've become overheated, maybe while traveling. You had to stand out in the midday sun, and you might notice that the skin on your neck or upper chest is red and irritated. The skin might even be raised and a little swollen. It feels hot. Maybe it feels tender and sensitive. What would this what qualities would be present, right? And what would you apply to help? So there would be heat and perhaps sharpness. So you might apply a cool or soft, dull qualities. So reducing the heat, putting a scarf on, staying cool, getting out of the sun, covering the skin if you must go out, taking a cool bath. So these are all things that can help. So aloe, coconut oil, neem, or bitter herbs, avoiding further stress and rushing can all help. So we experience these things and then we learn, right? We take a different tact. And then the other example is based on earth element. So imagine there's some heaviness in the body, excess earth element. Someone might feel heavy or congested. They might wake up with a stuffy nose or with excess mucus. So this can be a little less intuitive. So earth element is cool. So it could help to add some heat, like a spicy tea perhaps, ginger tea, or a hot shower, or a warm compress to the face, or some movement to mobilize that static heavy earth element present in congestion. So these are examples of ways that we apply the opposite quality to decrease something that we don't want. And then if we want to cultivate something, we add those qualities in. So based on the gunas that you're feeling, I would like to invite you to make a statement for yourself. It could be that how the gunas that you're feeling in your body mind feel good and you want to cultivate them. So you can just make a statement about how you feel. It could be that you're feeling a guna that you don't necessarily want to continue. For example, if I was having congestion, from like a damp day, I might say, I am light and clear because that's how I want to feel. So making a statement as though it's happening in this moment and stating the gunas that you would like to cultivate or that you're feeling that you would like to continue to feel. Here's some examples on the slide. I am light and clear. Oh, there it is. That's funny. I am filled with grounded energy. Sometimes if we're feeling, a little light or anxious, the mind feels busy, we might want to cultivate a grounded energy. or my mind is clear and my body is strong and healthy. My emotions are balanced and I am calm. I am centered and connected. I am inspired and motivated. So please create a statement for yourself, a positive body-mind statement using the gunas. I'm going to bring up a slide with the gunas so you can see them here. So using these words on the bottom, if you're able to describe how you feel or how you want to feel. Abdul is, I am cool, relaxed, and focused. Good, yeah. My possibilities are immeasurable. Beautiful. I am grounded and focused. My vision is clear. And it's really powerful to do some intention setting because it helps us to explore how we can cooperate with just the elemental energies that are moving around us. And when we can cooperate and dance with these energies, we become really potent in the world, actually. So it's beautiful. I feel fully furnished inside. Yeah, beautiful. It's like a completeness. I am clear and soft. I feel clear and light with space in my mind to breathe and grow. I am soft and clear. Good. So I want to introduce you to a really important wellness tool, the Post-it note. I invite you to post your intention statement on a Post-it note and put it somewhere where it's really helpful. Like I have a spot on the side of my computer where I often post things, and I have my statement actually posted right there. Thank you for sharing. I want to just stop for a moment and see if anyone wants to come on, if there's anything that they want to share about what we're talking about right now. My mind is heavy right now. Okay, I am cool. My dreams are smart. Any shares? Anybody want to come on and say anything? Okay. Thank you for all your shares in the chat. I sent you a link for a Prakriti quiz. So that's going to be for next time. We have a workshop next week at the same time as today. And so we're going to work on our constitution. So what's the makeup? I mentioned that each of us has a makeup of the 5 elements that is our primary operating system. And in Ayurveda, we call that Prakriti. I'm going to put it here in the chat, just that word. It just means your constitution. So it's like, you know, how when you are most balanced, your elements present. So some people have more earth element just naturally. And so their body mind is different. It has different gunas or qualities that predominate. It's more stable. And so knowing that, allows the person to approach life and cooperate with that. And if someone has a lot of fire in their constitution, they might have a lot of like a strong work ethic. They tend to kind of work a lot. They have more of they're not heavy or light. They're kind of in the middle, and they benefit from like regular breaks and encouraging fun and play because their tendency is to be a little intense. And someone with a lot of air or space, so the doshas actually combine into, let me just bring up this other slide here. So you see here, vata, this is air and ether. These two combine together to be the dosha of vata. And then water and fire combine to be pitta, and earth and water combine to be kapha. So you see that pitta and kapha have water in common. So that's an important thing to note for the future. But there's a quiz, and actually, I will put it in I have a link for it. I will put it in the chat so that you can take a look at it and answer the questions so that for next time you have a sense. And it's interesting to see, what is your operating system, and notice if it is surprising to you, or if it feels like, no, of course. Like you may already feel like, yeah, I have fire, or yeah, I have earth. You might have a sense of that. It's really beautiful to explore. To know ourselves better allows us to take care of ourselves better. So we see these elements combining into the different, we call them doshas. And so here you can see pictured these three different types: the earth people, the fire people, and the air people. And they have just different properties. Kapha, we say, is earth and water and represents cohesiveness and protection, lubrication, and immunity. And when we refer to pitta, we see how much fire and water element a person has, and that's their transformative capacity, their discernment. These folks have an innately just really good digestion. Am I not sharing the slides? Oh goodness, thank you. Thank you for saying that, because I thought I was. Let's see. Someone's got to watch me. Thank you very much. There it is. Awesome. And so, yeah, so when we refer to how much vata, when we refer to vata, the air, how much air and space a person has, it's their capacity for movement and creativity and spontaneity. So you can just notice these qualities in yourself, and you might see that, you have some of these capacities just based on the elements that are present in your body. And here's just another depiction so you can see. Some people are visual learners, and it's helpful to see it depicted in different ways. So as we work with the doshas, we can see their pattern in ourselves and in the world. We can notice perhaps that the world has a lot of air in it. Our busy culture, the internet, and all of the sensory input that we're exposed to brings a lot of air element into our experience in the world. There's also a lot of fire element, a lot of intensity, right? So how do we work with that, knowing that anything that's in our environment, in our awareness field, will affect our body mind? And how can we work with that? And I'll just mention that Vata is in charge of movement. So as we were going through our body, I talked about that air element moves all the other things. It's very mobile. And without Vata functioning well, the other doshas actually really can't do anything. One of my teachers I love, she used to say that Vata is the boss. It's the mover. And it's also most subtle. So being made of air and ether, right? So it's easier for it to go out of balance. Like it's easier to move air just by waving my hand. I can move air. If I wave my hand near earth, near a big rock, it doesn't move, right? So it's easiest to affect in a certain way. So that's something to really notice. But water and earth are not as easily affected, although water would be more easily affected. And that pitta is about digestion and transformation. And the digestion, we will talk about this, how the digestive fire in a human being is not just about the central channel, but it's also about digesting experiences and really anything that we're exposed to. So we can optimize that and help ourselves. And then finally, kapha is about cohesion, things coming together, lubrication, and endurance. So being made of the elements of earth and water, we see its stable qualities that help us to be healthy. And it protects the body and our health. So folks who have a lot of kapha in their prakriti have a good, healthy constitution. They have a tendency to go to just have strong immunity. It's like innate in them, just like pittas have strong digestion. And vata folks have a lot of creativity and movement. So it's really, it's beautiful. All having their own capacities, I would say. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to stop this share. And I would like to invite any key takeaways. What's coming forward for you in terms of takeaways? We talked about bringing indigenous wisdom into our curriculum, about how supporting our body minds, knowing ourselves better can allow us to be balanced so that we have sustainability in terms of offering our work. And we looked at some of the ways that we might be challenged. Life is difficult, and bringing change to our communities is challenging in and of itself. So identifying some of those challenges, and then looking at the simple ways that seeing a way that our body mind is with a quality, and then looking at the simple ways that we can apply the opposite. If we're feeling unsettled, how can we allow the body to settle? As an example. Yeah, Abdul is asking if we can get notes of this so we can revisit when we need to reflect. I was thinking about that in terms of offering, a reference material, because I do think it's something that takes reflection on multiple times. I'm certainly happy to share my slides, because I know sometimes just looking at the lists of gunas can be really helpful. Looking at the doshas and how they're categorized can be helpful. So I'm happy to do that. We can work on that. It's a good question. Any takeaways? Anybody want to come on and share? All right, I'm going to share the, somebody's coming on. Hello, who is coming on?
I think
Someone unmuted, no?
Karabo Joel.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Miss, for the session today. So, my experience today and what my takeaway is that I'm really learning to look inward. It's not something that I've experienced so much before. Majority of the experience and what's out there, the world will teach us to look outward, But I'm realizing there's actually a wealth of things that I have within me, when I'm thinking about the things that are making up my body. You mentioned the copper and the space, the ether, and all these sorts of things, and my connection to nature. So, in essence, I leave this meeting really feeling that I actually carry so much wealth within me, but my eyes have been blinded to seeing it because I'm looking so much without and not within.
Thank you. That was a beautiful, powerful share. Yes. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, there's so much inside of us that and what you said about the world, really does seem to point us outward. And when we begin to turn inward and look for answers inside and look for, you said wealth inside. Yes, there's so much there. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Anyone else like to come on? I'm sharing the link for this is the QR code for the survey for our form, for our workshop. Naomi shares, it's important to know me well so that I can know how best to take care of myself. Yeah, it's great. I think I have so much to offer the world in collaboration with others. Yeah, nobody knows how to take care of you better than you. It's absolutely the case, you know. Oh, thanks. John shared a link to the survey form too. Yeah, so there's questions there, and if you would like to indicate that you're interested in doing something specific with me for the office hours, please don't hesitate. Tomorrow we'll gather to do a yoga nidra session, and just beginning to practice, can just be something as simple as closing the eyes and following the breath. Just starting to practice turning inward. All of these practices are really, cultivates the ability to do that. And closing the eyes helps because at least then we take away, to some extent, we can always see the back of our eyelids. There is sight and there is light coming in to some extent, but it reduces some of that sensory input. There's another message. Yeah, John said, appreciating if you take 5 minutes to fill out the survey. And if I missed any of the chat comments, I'm going to go back and read them. So I will take a look for sure, because sometimes I don't catch every single one. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Thank you for sharing. And I'm going to just close the call, let you finish filling out your surveys. thank you to everyone who supported, to our translators, to Caitlin for her support. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and next week.